I'm here today because we care very deeply for our children in New Mexico. They're our precious gifts from God. And the evidence is very, very clear that our children in New Mexico are in real peril. The statistics speak for themselves. New Mexico ranks first in the nation in child poverty. 82% of New Mexican births are funded by Medicaid. Less than 5% of our children in New Mexico have access to home visiting, although almost 60% of children experience at least one adverse childhood event. Among 3- and 4-year-olds, only 29% receive any pre-K services, and only 24% of 4th graders are reading at grade level, the lowest in the country. I'm deeply grateful to the majority of our legislators who understand the profound crisis our children are in, and who recognize that early childhood investment is the 2-generation solution to change the trajectory of our state. The vote in the House that passed HJR 1 by an overwhelming majority is a tribute to those representatives, in my opinion, who were willing to come together to pass sensible and sound legislation for the sake of our children. Legislation that would use a very small percentage of the land grant permanent fund to put our children on a path to good health and success. The land grant permanent fund, which is dedicated to the education of our children, that's what it's for, children's education, will reach its full potential if we follow the findings of the latest brain science, which has revealed that the foundation for learning is set before children reach kindergarten. The most viable solution to making the investment we need in early childhood is by modifying the archaic distribution formula of the land grant permanent fund to include these early years. It's very disheartening for us to learn that our Senate cannot or will not negotiate the use of a small percentage of the land grant permanent fund for the children of New Mexico. I ask that our legislators work to reach a compromise that benefits the well-being of our children with that same spirit that provided driving privilege cards for immigrants. I pray that the Senate would find the same courage and create a dialogue of compromise on a withdrawal from the land grant permanent fund to make the best investment possible. As demonstrated by years of research, investing in early childhood education yields 7 to 13% per year for the life of the child. I, like many legislators, worry about our young parents and their skills, or perhaps lack thereof, to bring up the future generation of children. Home visiting has proven to be the real game changer for our children by supporting these parents with the tools they need to excel in their task of being their child's first teacher. We understand there's no silver bullet for the problems that New Mexico faces, but evidence indicates that this investment in early childhood education would change the often problematic trajectory our children are on and set them on a course for health, happiness, and success. We ask that our state senators please act quickly and deliberately in these final days of the session in deciding a percentage to be allocated for this investment. We cannot wait another year. Our children cannot wait another year. The 27,000 babies born this year are depending on them. I know for all of us, money can be very, very alluring. But this fund should not be treated as a golden calf, sacrificing to it the well-being of our youngest children. Is it morally acceptable to have the second largest state fund in the country while so many of our children suffer from the effects of poverty? We believe the answer is clearly no. Our children are at risk. Every parent, every grandparent, and every member of our community should be alarmed by the crisis our children are experiencing. Support for HJR 1 has had remarkable, inspiring, and diverse support across the different demographics of our state. I am encouraged by the commitment tribal leaders have made in advancing the investment for all of our children, and I thank them and all those legislators who have voted to give our children a decent start in life. Our children cannot speak for themselves, but we can speak for them. And our legislators can speak for them by finding a way to use the money from the permanent fund in accord with the fund's original and sole purpose, the education and the support of our most precious resource, our children. All we are asking is that the Senate let this go to the people for a vote. What are they afraid of? Thank you.